Hi, we are reaching 4:30 now. For all the moderators and speakers, please start to open the video and unmute yourself. For all the audience today, thank you so much for joining us. Today we are going to talk about smart city, and we are joining by Qlue and Seekmi. Without any further ado, I'll give the stage to the moderators.
Thank you, Natasha. So for today's edition, because one of our guest speakers cannot speak Indonesian, so we're gonna conduct this in English. So thank you everyone for joining us. This is our 6th episode, and a bit about Founder's Diary. Why we do Founder's Diary is because we understand that building a company can be a lonely journey. While there are definitely joys of entrepreneurship, there are also significant challenges. In our Founder's Diary series, we ask founders what their days look like and reflect on what they discover during the process. So today, I will moderate this with my twin brother, Ardi Setiadharma. We founded our company 2008. It's a construction in telecommunication industry, and starting 2013, we start investment in technology startups companies in Indonesia. So today we feature two companies from our portfolio. One is Qlue and the other one is Seekmi. So a bit about Rama Raditya, the first speaker, founder CEO of Qlue. Qlue is a comprehensive smart city provider in Indonesia with the mission to accelerate positive changes worldwide. Qlue has developed various cutting-edge solutions based on AI, IoT, and mobile workforce technology to help both government and private companies to be more effective and efficient in running their business and operations. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Qlue has also developed some solutions which will help to flatten the curve of COVID-19 and face the new normal. Clarissa Leung, founder and CEO of Seekmi. Established in 2015, Seekmi has become the #1 Indonesian blue-collar service company, helping hundreds of thousands of households and businesses ensure that their home and businesses are always taken care of. Seekmi has 15,000 workforce of highly skilled, trained, and certified technicians, cleaners, and drivers ready to help at any time. The company provides trustworthy home services such as air conditioning, plumbing, home appliance, handyman, plumbing, cleaning, and laundry services. So without further ado, I would like to invite ladies first, Clarissa, to introduce yourself, what your background is, where you came from, why did you end up in Indonesia?
So thank you so much, Arya, and thank you everyone for joining today's call. So as Arya mentioned, so we're very proud to be one of Prasetia's portfolio. Thank you so much for all your support. So in terms of me, as you know, my name is Clarissa. I'm the CEO and founder of Seekmi. I'm actually from Canada, so I moved to Indonesia in 2014, really just to look for business opportunities, but really one that I can make a big impact and really solve a major problem in the country. So hopefully, you know, at least I think Seekmi has found the problem, and hopefully we've been able to help a lot of people with our solution. So in terms of my background, I graduated, my undergraduate degree is in computer engineering, electrical and computer engineering. After that, I worked many years in Japan, working on digital imaging, artificial intelligence, neural networks, even building trading systems for investment banks. So I spent a lot of my time in the IT field and software development and R&D. After that, I actually have founded 2 startups in the past in Canada, and then I went to then do my MBA in Canada, majoring in finance. And after that, shortly after graduating, I then heard great things about Indonesia, how it would be a great place to do a tech startup. So without ever having visited Indonesia, I just really went in 2014, and yeah, 6 years later, I'm still in Indonesia. So yeah, thanks for joining the call. So that's a little bit about my background.
Thank you, Clarissa. So, Rama.
Hey, man. Hi, everyone.
So, tell us about yourself.
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much for having me. Thank you for inviting Qlue to this event. I've been wanting to join this event from the very beginning. So, Arya and Ardi, thank you very much again. So, a little bit about myself. I'm based in Jakarta, Indonesia. My background, it's been a long time ago. I already forgot about it. I took my bachelor's degree in computer science, I believe, and my master's in management information system. I was in Washington, D.C. for about 8 years since high school. So I was in high school in Washington, D.C. and then took my bachelor's, my master's. I went for good to Indonesia in 2008, worked for several companies, like consulting companies, PwC. I worked for EY and several others. Didn't really work out, and I created one startup at that time, but it eventually failed. And then I pursued, I proceeded on making another one, working along with Google for selling Google Maps. So that's how we actually ended up selling command center systems to a lot of government parties. And at that time, the why we actually built Qlue was quite simple. For the past 4 years after I went home to Indonesia, we see social issues like problems every day, traffic, floods, pollutions, and so on. And then we see that it was not getting better. So we thought that maybe with our mapping system at that time, working alongside with Google, we thought we could make things better. So we started off doing some research, creating some half-done products in order for us to offer it to the government, because we know that at that time, if we don't do that, if you don't offer it to the government, there has to be a collaboration between both. So we start offering these solutions. At that time, the governor was Pak Jokowi, and then we sent letters, and then after like months and months, we got called, and then Pak Ahok called us, and then we presented, and then they liked it. It was supposed to be a one-time project, but eventually it became a company, and we were very fortunate to meet Prasetia. We got the first support and funding from Prasetia in 2016, and changed our lives forever ever since then. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. So
next question. Let's go with Clarissa first. What does the process look like when the company first starts to see a new opportunity?
Yeah, so I guess you're referring a lot to the COVID time, or just in terms of very general?
No,
yeah, so
maybe, in the COVID time,
in any opportunity, right? So yeah, I mean, especially in relation to the new normal, or any time where there's a fundamental change to how society works, we, at Seekmi, we're constantly monitoring these things, because I think that's an advantage of a startup, is that we're always looking to evolve. We're always looking to change and revolutionize the service industry. So for us, we're constantly monitoring how people are behaving, whether businesses and people are changing the way they make decisions, the way they are purchasing services and products. And for us, we're constantly monitoring that. And especially during this time with the new normal, we've had to significantly change the way we operate and even the services that we deliver. So one of the opportunities we recently offered for our customers is disinfection services, and this definitely was correlated to the need for cleaning and disinfecting a lot of surfaces, because surfaces are actually they can transmit the virus. So this was a time that we identified a big need for it. And also there's a big fear for the public to enter into any new areas, like new locations. And this was a time that we identified the problem, and then we quickly offered the solution. So we actually launched disinfection service after identifying the opportunity within 1.5 weeks, which is a record time for us. We generally can launch very quickly, but this is one of the fastest turnaround times. And now we've been able to also work with a lot of great platforms like Lazada and Tokopedia to offer the disinfection service as well. And we also work with a lot of building management to offer our disinfection service. So this is just one example of where we've had to quickly offer additional services to clients for a new environment and new way of doing things.
Do you have to change any technology of your platform?
Yes. So we've actually made a lot of changes to our payment system, because there are a lot of our clients that previously required the paper invoices, they required the paper work orders, and even though we never really wanted to have paper, so we want to be a paperless company, but the clients insisted, because they still have a lot of traditional processes on their side in terms of allocating work and also even approving payments. They need paper. So for us, we've actually spent the last few months building much more secure and fast way to make payments. So that's one of the things that we've been focusing on, and it's been a great journey. So we've actually been able to decrease the time to process payments by 80%, just with building these tech systems, and clients are now more open to the idea of paperless. So that was a big benefit for us. So now we can push that automation to our clients that previously were not comfortable with paperless processes. So that's been a great opportunity for us, and I'm hoping that this will continue, where traditional businesses will find ways to eliminate paper processes that are not necessary when you have the right technological systems in place.
I see. So it's about listening to the customer and also trying to change their behavior.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's about kind of like learning more on why they sometimes have traditional processes. And then sometimes they don't really know, but they don't have the time to make the changes, because it would require so many changes in terms of their SOPs internally. And maybe it's just not a priority for them because they have so many other things that they have to focus on first. But this is like a pandemic is things that change the way things are done in a very short amount of time. And even if they don't really need to focus on it, suddenly it becomes a big issue for them, because they can't do anything, because they're not in the office where all the papers are stored. Their filing cabinets are in their offices, but they can't access the papers. And also they send us the papers, we can't access it because of the PSBB. So that just creates a time that we learn what their issues are in terms of paper versus paperless, and then we work and create the best possible solution that can help their internal processes, but also help also automate and make things more efficient for our side.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Clarissa. And Rama?
Thank you, Ardi.
Yes. First of all, I would like to appreciate the disinfection services being done by Seekmi. It's super helpful. We used it once, I believe. And thank you again for having that. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing because I think everybody has to do it, especially in the beginning of COVID-19 situation. But for Qlue, we changed several things. So we're very focused on social issues, right? and we're very focused on social impact. So we are really monitoring the situations about the city, what is going on, and what is the biggest problem at the moment. Before COVID, there was pollution, things like that. So we are trying to make any kind of social solutions using our technology to the city itself. So thankfully, we have an ecosystem of solutions. So we have a product for the Citizens app where people can download and report problems. We have the AI capabilities for CCTV video analytics. We have the IoT sensors as well. We have the mobile workforce for field workers to be able to do a quick response, as well as we have a command center dashboard. So it's like we call it like an ecosystem of smart city solutions. So when during this pandemic, we have several solutions that we offer. First, we actually have to identify which client, because we also serve the citizens as well as government as well as enterprises. So for government, it's quite simple because our government wants, well, maybe every nation wants to suppress the COVID-19 outbreak. So by doing so, everybody has to be social distancing, wearing masks and so on. So we deploy our solutions for Qlue app for citizens to report other citizens that are not social distancing or like violating the PSBB. Then we also empower CCTVs to identify people, crowd detections and so on. We also, for the new normal, we also launched our latest product called Qlue Thermal. So basically, it's a very accurate thermal sensor combined with AI capabilities such as facial recognition, mask detections, and so on, in order to automate the thermal what do you call it? The thermal measuring process. Usually, the security guards using thermal gun is very dangerous as well for the security guards. But this one is actually just very automatic. People just come in, and then you can combine it with gates. You can combine it with locked doors. You can combine it with attendance system and more. So we see that there is so many opportunities in the middle of this crisis, and we are also very grateful that we can contribute to the social impact to Indonesia. So yeah, I think there's a lot of changes within the product itself, a lot of changes, a lot of shifting in terms of clients. In the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, mostly government clients, but right now going into new normal, it's actually coming back. The enterprise, small, medium businesses also starting using Qlue. There is more clients that we never thought we would have at the moment for new normal. So some clients that we can say back in the days, we would never thought that, they would become our clients, but nowadays they become our clients. So in a way, we try to actually thrive in the middle of this pandemic, not only survive it. Thank you.
So it's pretty much similar like Seekmi. So you have many customers, types of customers, right? And every customer, you have their own solutions that you provide, right?
Yeah. So we just diversify the clients since the very beginning, so we can serve them in different situations. So for instance, in the beginning of the pandemic, we cannot serve the enterprise. All the enterprise deals are stopped. But the government, there's a huge increase of demand, and things like that. So we are very glad. I think it's also a learning, for startups as well. Try to keep your customers, with like less priority. Like in terms of industries, maybe you serve to B2B, but also have to serve to B2G in a way, because if this situation happens, you still can do maneuver to other industries or type of clients.
Okay, and do you separate your teams for the citizen and the enterprise and the government?
Yeah. We have a separate team for that. In the very beginning, we mixed everyone together, but we thought that it was a very bad idea. Then we separated in order for them to be able to focus on each product, right? Because they're serving different purposes as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rama.
Thank you.
Okay, next question from Arya.
Okay, so the next questions I will have different question for each one. For Rama first, I think how does Qlue evolve over time, right? Because in 2015 we started with uh, Jakarta Smart City, and then how do you evolve? And it's more like small pivots, right? You did
Yeah.
small pivots.